Hello there. Welcome to a new video. This video is going to be sort of a ranking video, kind of, sort of. It's more or less a video going over my personal picks for Game of the Year. These games are what I consider to be my list. So this is my opinion, things of that nature. You may have a totally different opinion. No problem whatsoever. Because as the year comes to a close, we get many of these lists. You know, these top 10 best games of the year, top worst, most disappointing, etc., etc. So I figured I'd throw my hat into the ring. So with that being said, I have 6 games here. I have I have 6 games plus an honorable mention. So now, me being me, and for those of you who know me, it shouldn't be that difficult to figure out what my number one game is. That being said, I still want to go over these 6 games and tell you why I enjoyed them and why they're, in my list. So, that said, I hope you sit back and enjoy the video. It might be a long one, it might be short, it might be in the middle. Don't know yet. So, let's get into it. First, my honorable mention. This year, my honorable mention game is Hogwarts Legacy. Now, I've been a fan of Harry Potter my entire life. It's what got me into reading. I'm a huge reader. It's what got me into it. Also, it will hold a special place in my heart because it is a series that my mom and I read together as it was coming, as each book came out. We would read it together. So, and with her not being here anymore, she's been gone since 2015. That will kind of make this series be even more special to me. Now, that being said, I am someone who can separate the art from the artist. I can play this game, watch the movies, read the books, and, not be, what J.K. Rowling has said does not muddy this universe for me personally. If it does for you, that's fine. That is you. But I'm not you. That's the difference. Now, as for the whole debate that was going on when this game was coming out, the Act Man, who you should subscribe to, he's a great YouTuber. He makes excellent videos, which is a given, obviously. But he did a video covering his thoughts on the whole debacle with the people saying that if you buy this game you're a bigot and don't support this game. And even when Twitch had this basically search bar type thing to see, or not, it wasn't Twitch, but it was someone had made a search bar type thing that you can see or look up if anyone you watched on Twitch played it, things of that nature. What he said in that video is what basically mirrors my thoughts on the whole thing. So, yeah. Overall, I enjoyed the game. It's the Harry Potter game I've been wanting the longest time because we've only ever got games based on the movies, and those were fine, sure, but they weren't nothing to write home about. They're very basic and simple for the most part. So yeah, this game was a lot of fun. I have to give Avalanche Studios props because they never really made a game of this proportion, this size, and they did a hell of a job. And I cannot wait for the sequel because you damn know well there's going to be a sequel. This game is like one of the best selling games of the year. So, can't wait. Now on to not the actual list, but the games that are actually, the 6 games that are my personal picks. So. First up, Resident Evil 4 Remake. This was a great remake. Some people might feel differently. Some people might have preferred the original to this one. I'm in the middle. I like both, to be honest. But yeah, this was very solid. I like the fact that Ashley wasn't as helpless as she was in the original. She can actually do shit for the most part. Some people didn't care for Ada, her voice. Thought she was fine. They used the same actress that played her in the recent Resident Evil movie. So, but I thought, like I said, I thought she was fine. I never got the whole she sounds cold or she's boring or the other constant uh, complaints about her. I never got that. The only thing the only one thing that I didn't really care for was Salazar. Salazar. His boss fight. I kind of prefer the boss fight in the original to the remake, but that's just me again. But overall, a solid remake. People have been speculating if they're going to remake 5 next or what. Me personally, I would love to see a Code Veronica remake first. People have been calling for that forever. People also want another remake of 1, which I could maybe see that, but again, it would be weird because the first one already had a remake, and it would be. I feel like it would be too confusing, to be honest. But that's just me. Maybe Capcom will surprise us. Who knows? But overall, like I said, it's a solid remake. It really is. And I can see the sides from both saying, no, the original's better. The remake's better. I'm in the middle. I prefer I like aspects from both. So, yeah, still solid. I still need to play, I bought it, I just haven't played it yet. I need to play, Separate Ways DLC, but I'll play that eventually. I do have it, I just, again, haven't played it yet. So, yeah, but overall, solid remake. Next, Assassin's Creed Mirage. Now, I'm a big Assassin's Creed fan, and this was pretty damn good. It was a nice return to norm because for the last the last 3 main Assassin's Creed games have been big, bloated, open world RPG style type games, and those are fun. Don't get me wrong, but after having 3 back to back to back, it was nice to go back to something not old school. Well, it is old school, but it was nice to play a game that harkens back to the original series. To Brotherhood, Black Flag, which is my favorite Assassin's Creed game. It was nice to go back to something similar to that. So I do hope, it is my hope that in between these massive, huge, multi-100-hour RPG like games in Assassin's Creed, that we do get stuff like this more often. Because this was a nice palate cleanser. So, story overall, decent. Now, my main thing is I never finished Valhalla. I was waiting because when this was announced, and it's kind of sort of a prequel to Valhalla, sort of. I wanted to say, okay, I'll put Valhalla on hold and I'll play this, and I'll go back to it. So I'm planning to do that in the future. So, but overall, was pretty solid overall. So I would recommend it for sure. If you are an Assassin's Creed fan and you are kind of on the fence with Mirage, I'd say check it out for sure. It's especially if you're tired of the big, bloated, open world RPG style games that we've had for the last 3 main entries. I'd say definitely check it out for sure. Next, The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. Now, I'm going to go on record here. I have not beaten this yet. I need to return to it at some point. But what I have played of it so far, I can definitely see why, for many people, it's their game of the year. It's a lot of fun. It builds upon Breath of the Wild, and vastly different areas. Abilities with like Ultra Hand and Fuse and things like that really help sort of knock down the weapon degradation that people did not like in Breath of the Wild. So overall, like I said, very solid. I can see why it's many people's game of the year. It's just not mine, and I need to go back to it at some point. It took me 5 years to beat Breath of the Wild, so maybe it'll take me 5 years to beat Tears of the Kingdom. I doubt it, but never know. Next. Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Now, it's a shame that this game had so many issues at launch because it's a amazing sequel to Jedi Fallen Order. It really is. The characters, the story, all of it, introducing things from the High Republic, which I have not yet read anything about that yet. I'm planning to fix that in the future, but still, just the fact they're incorporating many different things into it made it a lot of fun. It was nice to see Cal and Merrin, Merrin. I forgot her name for a minute. It was nice to see Cal and Merrin back again together. It was nice to see the whole Mantis crew. It was just a lot of fun, and the gameplay was great, giving you different besides the usual like single blade, double blade. You got what the fuck's the word? You got basically two single blade hilts. You got a cross guard like Kylo Ren. They add so much into this, and I enjoyed it immensely. I want to go back to it and replay it again. I might do that eventually soon. I don't know. I haven't decided yet, but it's pretty damn good. I'm the only thing that I don't like about this game, and Hogwarts Legacy for that matter, is that thing right there. Internet required. The full game is not on the disc. Same with Hogwarts Legacy. That kills me. That really kills me. I'm hoping maybe down the road there'll be like a reprint of the game where they'll be able to get the full game on the disc, or they'll include a second disc, maybe. Who knows? But that's the only thing that kills me about this game, is that. So, but overall, still really damn good, really solid. It's just a pity that at launch it was pretty broken for most players. I personally didn't have many issues, but again, that's just me. So, but yeah. Next, my number two. This would be my number two game of the year. That would be Marvel's Spider-Man 2. Been looking forward to it ever since it was announced, when we were getting Venom and Kraven, and we'd be playing as both Peter and Miles. I was intrigued where the story would go. When they announced that Venom was not going to be Eddie Brock, I already knew right away. Okay, it's probably going to be Harry then, because that's the only person that makes sense. Especially how the first game ends with that little cutscene at the end, with Harry being in that sort of tank, and you see the black sort of goo. And so I was like, okay, he's probably going to be Venom at some point. So, but yeah, solid game. I know some people are hating on it because it didn't win any awards. Game awards. A game doesn't need to win an award to be good. That's just stupid thinking. That because this game, because it was nominated for X number of awards, it didn't win anything. That means it's a shit game. That's a fucking stupid way of thinking. I'm sorry. But yeah, Spider-Man 2, very good sequel. Looking forward to where they go in the future. It's already been speculating that there's going to be Spider-Man 3, obviously. There's also speculation that there could be a Venom spin-off game, potentially. So who knows? But all I know is that whatever they do and announce, I will be there day one, for sure. So. And finally, my number one game of the year, which again, if you know me, it shouldn't be that much of a surprise because, again, it's me. But my game of the year is, of course, Dead Space. Now, I will say right off the bat before I get started, it annoys the piss out of me because this year there's been a lot of remakes. The biggest two of them, of course, being Dead Space, Resident Evil 4. My question is, when people are talking about saying how remakes, they shouldn't count. They shouldn't be in any game of the year list because they're just remakes. Well, my question to you is, well, if that's the case, then why does Resident Evil 4 remake get praise? I mean, again, it was nominated for Game of the Year this year, for fuck's sake. Why does that remake get a pass when Dead Space doesn't? When Dead Space gets the shaft? Why is that? Please make that make sense to me. And don't tell me because Resident Evil 4 is such a classic game. It's been a classic. It's more classic than Dead Space or some variation of that. I'm sorry, that's a stupid fucking answer. The original Dead Space is just as much a classic as Resident Evil 4. It is. Let me remind you, Dead Space, original Dead Space, 2008. One of the key things it gave us that Resident Evil did not give us till Resident Evil 6 was the ability to move and shoot. Dead Space did not make us plant our feet and make us stand there and aim to shoot and then move. No, we had full control of our character. So, yeah. But that being said, Dead Space Remake is my game of the year because I love this franchise so much. And when I heard they were doing a remake, I was very much skeptical because I've said this before many times, I would have much preferred some kind of collection, like similar to the Mass Effect Legendary Edition, where you take all three games, maybe Extraction if possible, but all three games, make them look, do some alterations to the resolution, the graphics, make it 1080p or somewhat 4K, whatever the case may be, 60 FPS, one nice big collection, all the DLC. That's what I would have been wanting for a while. So the remake got announced. Like I said, I was very skeptical. Very skeptical. But then I saw as the game was going through development, the developers, Motive, would put out sort of like developer diaries going over, okay, here's where we're at in the game so far, here's where we're the look. We're really trying to nail the look of the Ishimura, of Isaac, of his team, of the Necromorphs, making sure that all the weapons sound 100% accurate to the original, all that. So then, with those, I started to get hopeful. Okay, I'm thinking, okay, they're doing this, they obviously give a shit, because they would not be doing these little sneak peeks if they didn't give a shit. So, then I played the game. And while it is very much in vein with the original, there are some very nice changes that I have to say really made it emotional for me to play it, especially the first time. The main change, or the thing they added story-wise, that really gripped me, was when you find you're on the ship. It's near the end of the game. I believe you're if I remember correctly, it's like right before in the general same time frame as you're facing the hunter for the last time. You find Nicole's, like, I don't know if it's her lab or it's like her chambers, her like sleeping chambers. I can't remember which one it was, but you end up finding and seeing sort of Nicole and Isaac's last like phone call before the shit hits the fan. And in this remake, they've added that Nicole was the one who tried to get Isaac's mother away from Unitology and away from that cult. And while Nicole was successful, however, his mother still ended up killing herself and her husband, Isaac's father. So even though Nicole was able to get her away from the church, she wasn't able to get her away fully. She wasn't able to break the church's hold on his mother. So knowing this, Isaac, who of course is angry at what's just happened, his mother and father are dead. Their bodies are being taken by the church. He can't even say goodbye, basically. In a moment of anger and grief, he flashes out at Nicole, basically telling her that, you're the cause of this. This is your fault. Now, obviously, it wasn't her fault, but Isaac is, again, angry, filled with grief. He hasn't even able, like I said, have a chance to say goodbye to his parents. And this whole video call altercation between them is the last thing that Nicole and Isaac say to each other before what happens. So just think of the guilt that eats away at Isaac, knowing that this stupid fight argument is the last thing that he ever said to Nicole, or whatever happened, that it's the last thing that happened between them. That hit very deeply for me. I know it's probably stupid to some, but it makes you sit back and go, wow, that hits very much. So yeah. So that being said, and like I said, it comes with no surprise. Dead Space Remake is my personal #1 game of the year. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will be back relatively soon-ish with another video. My buddy Dale has been asking me for an updated Xbox One collection. I plan to be doing an Xbox, probably gonna call whatever the fuck I'm trying to say. I'm probably gonna be calling it like an Xbox One / Series X collection or something of that nature. I haven't decided yet. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will catch you next time.